Brad, your fans want to know, are you coming back to the stage or what?
I need help. I need momentum.
Can you do that again? Because I missed it.
Oh yeah. Give me a second. That was a little slower than I wanted.
You only need 30-second rest.
30 seconds?
That's it, right?
Okay.
That way you build more muscle that way.
All right. I'm facing a Godfather. I'm doing it. 30 seconds rest from now on.
That's it. 30 seconds. I was kidding.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
You want one?
What's that?
You want one?
I do now.
Shoot, man, to start, let's go over what your situation is looking like right now, and take me through the last 3 months, Jeff.
Towards the end of July, coming off the summer, I was like a little over 200 pounds, and if you don't recall, I had the little high LDL, so I was like, okay, we got to clean that up, just for health reasons. So I started to diet down, but not tracking food, just intuitively kind of just watching what I ate, but still staying on top of protein and all that. Got down to about 191-ish about a month or so ago. So like 5-6 days a week, kind of eating a lot less, incorporating those morning walks for about 45 minutes, 1 or 2 days a week, kind of just intuitively having refeeds, enjoying life with the family. So we chipped some weight off there. Redid my blood work, and the LDL definitely improved. Not all the way normal, but very close to it. So just those lifestyle changes helped out quite a bit. Training through all that was going pretty well, even though I was dieting a little bit. But then I got sick last month with a pretty bad cold. So that's when I took a week off of training, ate more food purposely to try to recover from that. Coming off of being sick, getting back into the gym, but I just kept food up. And the last 2-3 weeks, my physique just filled out quite a bit. Like it was almost a blessing in disguise, because I was probably looking a little more flat than I should have been. So like physique wise, like fullness, it's there, and performance has improved quite a bit. So I think we're starting off on the right foot, like right where we're at now, because my deadlifts are back into the 4-plate territory again. Squats are in the 3-plate territory. So performance-wise, doing really good. Recovery's good. Outside the gym, a lot going on there. Of course, being dad, husband, so I have a lot of responsibilities that I'm kind of dealing with. So that, of course, takes up the majority of my time. But we've had the conversation with my wife about competing next year. So super supportive, because she knows basically all of 2020, all of 2021, it was down years for me for competing. And she knows I pretty much was putting family first and putting the bodybuilding kind of second fiddle. So she's supportive. And of course, Ethan's like, yeah, do it, Dad, because I want to go on vacation. So he wants to do shows so he can get on an airplane and travel.
Now, in regards to show schedule next year, have we thought about our tentative schedule?
I think, of course, WMBF Worlds is always kind of on both of our radar.
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the year. So I don't know if I want to diet like all the way for an entire year. And like we did that in 2019. Physique faded the last couple of months. I'm thinking more or less WMBF Worlds, and I've even thought about Mr. America.
Okay.
Just because it's like got a rich history there. Like to put that on the list, to cross that one off, that would be kind of cool. Like I'm 50, right? So we don't know how many more I have of these. Let's empty the tank out this time. Let's bring the heat and see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, prep's gonna screw you up and interfere with life anyway. So it's like if you're gonna do it, it's like you might as well go all in.
Yeah.
Even a 90% prep, I think, in regards to disturbances, it's not going to differ that much when it comes to the recovery period. Probably when it comes to how much harder it is to keep up with all your responsibilities. So it's like, let's just do it right, because it's fun but not fun at the same time. And I think the conditioning we're looking for is going to reside. I think about 166 is where you have to go, right, in order to just do something you've never done. Which there's few things at this point on your career, in regards to haven't done, right. But to get that last little film that we want, and on top of that, you're blessed with insurance policy muscle to the point where it's like, if we lose a little bit, who cares? You're gonna be bigger than those lightweights,
Yeah.
So 166 is about, potentially we'll see where I'd have you, and basing it off that, I would like this prep to start somewhere in like the sub 185 area. Okay, so we do have to march back downwards and take some of this off. Again, you're refreshed, you're good, training's fantastic, you got to see what you actually look like. So I think we've had enough breathing here. Let's go ahead and bring you down from what we estimate to be about 195 down to, I think we have to touch 182, because you will fill back out. This will work out perfectly for the sake of the wife. We end on the 13th of February.
That's
okay.
No, yeah, that's perfect, right? Yeah, sorry, babe. Yeah, I'm dieting on Valentine's Day.
That'd be perfect. You get a little wine and have the 182 vascularity come out, right? So that's the first step. It's like we need that setup, fat loss 182. All right. Then we have our little gain phase, kind of like you've done right now, right? Where you've brought things back to life. So that phase from mid-February until May 1st, that's when our kind of cruiser phase ends. 1st of May, it's back to that deficit. You'll have that in between phase where, again, you'll be a little bit more lax. We'll probably expect about 3 pounds of weight gain. I think it's going to be different than, you remember that one time you tried to hover 10 pounds above stage weight, it didn't work out. But I think it's different when you're coming from like shredded to that, as opposed to like the other side down, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, because I was coming off a prep. Gained 10 pounds, like try to maintain that coming off a long prep. Yeah.
Yeah. 185, I think for you, it could feel good. On the way down, it usually feels okay, right? Yeah. But on the way up, it's not enough. Like your body's not like at a safe place just yet. Between February and May, we're going to maintain between 182, 185. Prep starts. So now we have roughly about 11% of our body weight to lose. And we're just going to, since we don't know the schedule, what we're just going to do is just assume that on the other side of this line in the sand, that's where all the shows will be. Okay? Yep. It's 40 weeks, which means 17 weeks of dieting at that point. But you have to remember that, like, and I'm okay with this. I think I would have been like, ooh, I want the 20 weeks at least. But you're coming down from like the 180s, all right?
Yeah.
You'll be at the low 170s, high 160s range there. You'll still be quite effective at that place, and I think be able to qualify. So shows, anything in September goes. That's the plan. Fat loss from now until February 13th. I know we have holidays, but if anything, I've always found it easier to diet through the holidays because you have your holiday meals you want to enjoy, so you take care of business during the days that you can control. So that keeps me in line a little bit more, knowing that okay, just I'm gonna save it for the tamales. Or at this point, it's probably best to track something. Your preference, we can do macros or we can do calories and protein.
Let's track it all.
Okay.
So that way we have like really accurate data for you to work off of.
I feel like I'm less prone to estimation, or excessive estimation when it's macros as opposed to protein.
Yeah. So let's just track it all so we know exactly what we're dealing with. Whatever you feel like you feel like I need to run, I'm gonna run it. Like you touched on, like we probably do need to touch 166s, right, to get more conditioning, but we also want to make sure we're maintaining like really good fullness, and just come in with like something that's just you've never seen from me. So to me, I'm like, well, in order to maybe up my game, that's the reason I'm like, hey, let me bring someone else in so there's more than just my perspective. Let me lean on you, do your thing, and then of course, down the road, I mean, as we communicate, we can always make adjustments.
Oh yeah. No, we will. It will definitely be a partnership of sorts. But if I need to tell you you're crazy, we're not doing that. Then we're crazy, we're not doing that.
Right.
Absolutely. Let's see, 6 to 7K, because 3K steps is usually about 20 minutes ish, right? So it's about a 50 to 60 minute walk, right? But obviously it includes everything else. So we'll have an escape route for the bike, all right? Like and have that, have that there as a just in case. But I like walking because it you can integrate it to like other parts of your life, right? Like weekends, if you're gonna go out with the family, it's like, I can do 30 minutes of walking, and I know that I'm gonna take care of the rest of it because we're going here, So I like the pliability. It keeps you moving. Build, parking far away. Go get that thing downstairs that I need. Along with that, we will have some post-training cardio, 5 to 10 minutes on the bike, and the main reason I want to have this year is just for recovery purposes. Because think about it, it's like you sit all day, you go train, and then you go sit some more. So let's kind of have just a cool down period and see if this perhaps to a certain extent lessens some of the lack of recovery symptoms we might experience. The refeed schedule, because I do want to include those because we want to, we have great training momentum going. We want to keep those. We want to keep that in place. I think we start with the generic days 1 through 5 low, days 6 and 7 high. I think we could be a little bit less aggressive with the refeeds. We're still at a place that, body fat, it's I wouldn't say it's below our athletics at point.
I'm well fueled.
I still want to have a certain level of autonomy in place where you can decide what's good. In your case, I think giving you some broad ranges is going to make you feel less trapped. If you're coming off those refeeds and you're like, ooh, the next 2 days, I think I can go hard. I'm in the mood to go hard. There's nothing stopping me. Let's do it. But then also, if you're like, man, I could tack on another meal to this day because I just need it. Like, it's there as well.
I think it'll work well early on, especially with this first phase we're doing. Yeah. When we get into the deeper parts of it, like when I'm leaner, where like we know history, right? So my history is like, okay, those refeeds can kind of turn ugly. That's when I think at that point I'll probably say, all right, let's make me be a little more soldier, so a little more rigid. Like instead of like broad range, like, no, this is what I need you to hit. Just you got to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, towards the end, we'll do things like one of my favorite ones is controlling sodium intake so that the scale isn't weird. The last meal of the day is the same thing at the same time, and the weigh-in in the morning is because that way there's just more controls and we can see what's going on. So we will go there if need be, but we're not going to strip you of all your autonomy just yet. So drum roll, numbers, here we go. I like the broad ranges. I think coming around the refeed turn, we might even see a lot of like 40, 175 days because after you're fed, it's way easier to act right,
Yeah.
the following days, right? Let's see. In regards to check-ins for this phase, every 2 weeks on a Monday, spreadsheet, send me the audio, and we're good to go. That's basically it. I don't need to see your physique. I just need to see the spreadsheet and your perspective on what's going on. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I think for you, given your case, uh, I think it should be the first thing you do on Mondays, regardless of how much work you might have. Just because it's like, okay, boom, I took care of me. Now I can go take care of these other folks. So
It's always good to be selfish
yeah,
every now and
yeah,
then.
and they'll be pretty uneventful, I think, at first. Uh, but it's again, we're just building up habits. So then, when it's time to turn it on,
Mhm.
it's just what you do at this point.
Because
Yeah,
it's like you said, it's kind of be a little uneventful from the beginning. But this, like right here, this is like probably the most important step. It's just getting everything on paper, getting it outlined. And then it's just putting that work in and getting after it and not stressing on it too much, just one day at a time and just make sure I'm communicating well. So no, not too many questions right now.
it's one of those where I'll tell you, I don't tell this to athletes too often, only when it's appropriate. But it's like, I guess, often when they're coming from a background similar to yours, where it's like you want to build that trust so they can hand over the reins 100%. And when I also believe in the stock as well, but it goes something along the lines of, just put it all on me, man. If this fails, like, it's me. All you have to do is, even if it's like a stupid play that the coach sends in, it's like, well, okay, I'm gonna run the stupid play because coach said so. On my end, if it doesn't work, well, look, it's on me. You just be the athlete, run the play as honestly as you can, and I think we'll be in a really good place by the end.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna run into any troubles like bad plays. I mean, there's
No.
too much history there to kind of draw off of.
Yeah,
Plus a
yeah,
lot of knowledge that we have. Plus we got things set up way in advance. So
yeah.
if anything, it'd be on me not following through with the big picture plan.
Yeah, that's the symptoms of a good team, man, where everyone wants to own up to anything. They're eager to own up to anything that, doesn't go well, right? As opposed to, like, the pointing fingers and right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great place to start. I'll get this spreadsheet all nice and pretty, send it your way, and then you'll be good to go.